giving you the course. Okay, cutting in and easing up on the right. Weight shifting in. And round. And easing up. Get it efficient again. Get that weight shifting. Okay, feel for those changes there. Easing up again. Start trying to get the efficiency up. Remember the dwell time.
Yes, there's a lag time there.
It's not much, but that was still giving you like 2-3 inches of brake. Okay, and weight shift, brake, and easing up, easing up, easing up, easing up, easing up. Okay, efficiency. The wing is more efficient at high speed. Feel for all those bits. Primary steering should be weight shift. Now it's a bit difficult with the Tandem, you do have to use a lot more brake. So it's quite good for training for low rated wings, but you really want to be flying as much as you can with your weight shift, and your quick transitory pressure control movements are done with your brakes. You get the feel for that? Keeping the speed on, although we seemed to be going towards the fence, meant we were efficient. It also meant we had energy that, if necessary, by smooth application of the brakes, we'd have been able to hop over the fence. Again, the key is keeping the energy as high as possible. So it's good, I can do big wing overs here on the Tandem. Damp it down, easing off now, cutting along on weight shift. So what happens when we get sink and a hollow? What do you get after that? Well, how high are we? Okay, and how high were we a minute ago? Yeah, so generally speaking, if you have a hollow in the air, you can expect lift. Again, feel it there? Now by weight shifting, because the harness is letting us shift quite quickly, particularly my harness, as one side of the wing gets less pressure and would tend to collapse, we fall and put more pressure on it. So our weight shift, because you've got high weight shift set up, at least for me, it keeps the wing more inflated. Whereas if you've got a soft padded harness, again, if you get lift, turn and lift. If it was just a wee bit better, I could really just, you know, fold my arms and kind of sit back and let you get on with it. I don't think it's worth driving all the way up to St Cyrus. You're getting good stuff here. Again, you sit there and sort of let it hover almost, drifting along. And then when we're getting that extra bit, speed up, weight shift to keep the angle. So you could follow the path by flying fast and steering in weight shift, or you could follow the path by pointing in exactly the same heading all the time, altering your speed. So when you go slowly, you get pushed more sideways. So you can follow any form of line contour along a hill two totally different ways, which gives you two training regimes. No, I'm kind of trying to follow the path. So here we're more using the yaw and adverse yaw on the brakes because it's a tandem. If I was doing this on the Vertex, then I'd be tending to just weight shift along and easing off. Hopefully, might get enough lift to come back up. Damping it down. Feel what I'm doing there? Yep. And that's how you take off from the bottom of the hill when everybody else is taking off from the top. They're going down, and so 10-15 minutes later, or sometimes even less, that's me up at the top. Use every little bit of lift. Yeah, sort of, and relax that left hand a wee bit, just keep the pressure, but feel that there?
Yes.
I could tell that was going to happen before it happened, because the airflow changed. So we're going to ease up, weight shift in. So because of the nature of the Tandem and the particular site and conditions at the moment, we're using a lot of brake control with a little bit of weight shift. Ideally you want to be 90% weight shift, yeah, and just use the brakes when you want. But sometimes doing an inefficient slow turn but staying in the middle of that lift is clearly better. I mean, a decent pilot sort of at school on a decent glider, would they be up or would they have just landed?
I made it landed, right?
Yeah. And this is a Tandem.
Yes. Right.
Change again. Now the other thing is you're doing what most people do. Now that is close. That is cool. Oh. Yeehaw! Oh. Here's his mate. See? He's coming across the coast just now. Go on, give us a wing over. Oh yes, I hope that's on the video. I love this. At Forest Hill we get them sometimes when they're playing about with us. They'll come within about 100 feet. Yeah, do flybys round the hill. There was one day at Lindifferin, Looker's radar called me back up. You know, do you have anyone going down to Bottomland? No, right. Send 4 fast jets below you in 5 minutes. I didn't have the video capture. Now, you, like most pilots, tend to put your arms out to the side. But there you're going forwards. A much better place when you can, and bear in mind it's a Tandem, so you're not going to be able to do quite so much, is actually go straight down the line. So if you look at the load on the pulleys when I'm on the controls, there's actually relatively little. The line's almost straight. You see that?
Yes.
And most people are out like that.
Sticking out like a crab.
Yeah. Now the other thing about that is it means that you can press your arms slightly against the risers, which will damp down oscillations. So instead of you handing out the side and telling to do that, you can actually just sort of, yeah. So you're not holding on to the risers, but you're just sort of damping down. There's a whole host of tricks. Now if you noticed that earlier on when I was solo, for a short while I was flying using the tip lines to control instead of the brakes. So I mean there's dozens of different ways you can steer. Ease up. Now how are you doing on temperature? How's the learning curve doing?
It's good now.
Yeah.
The hands are a little bit colder.
Right. Do you want to do another few minutes and land, or do you want land just now?
No,
Okay.